Your soulmate is begging you to read this message before it's too later. My beloved soul. If these words have found their way to you today, do not rush past them. Sit quietly for a moment. Let the noise around you fade into the distance. There is something your heart has been trying to hear for a very long time. It is not an accident that you stopped here. Sometimes life guides people toward the exact message they need when their spirit is ready to receive it. You have carried questions that no one else knows about. There have been nights when you smiled for everyone around you while silently wondering why certain pieces of your life still seemed incomplete. You have asked yourself whether the person meant for you truly exists, whether your prayers have been heard, and whether love has somehow forgotten your name. But your journey has never been forgotten. The connection between two souls is unlike anything the physical world can fully explain. Long before two people meet, their lives begin moving through experiences that shape them for one another. Every disappointment teaches compassion. Every delay builds patience. Every closed door redirects the path toward the one that is meant to open at exactly the right moment. Perhaps you have mistaken waiting for rejection. Waiting is not always a punishment. Sometimes it is protection. There are seasons when your heart longs for someone while your spirit still has lessons to complete. During those seasons, it may feel as though nothing is happening. Yet beneath the surface, countless unseen pieces are quietly falling into place. Imagine a master artist creating a beautiful painting. From a distance, the early strokes may appear random. The colors seem disconnected. The design makes little sense. But with time, every brushstroke reveals its purpose. Your life has been painted in much the same way. Every friendship that ended. Every unexpected goodbye. Every opportunity that slipped away. Every moment that made you stronger. None of them were meaningless. They prepared your heart to recognize genuine love instead of temporary excitement. Many people spend years chasing feelings that disappear as quickly as they arrive. They mistake attention for devotion. They mistake attraction for commitment. They mistake comfort for destiny. But authentic love grows differently. It does not demand that you become someone else to earn acceptance. It inspires you to become the best version of yourself. Your soulmate is not searching for perfection. Your soulmate is searching for truth. They are searching for someone whose heart still believes that kindness matters. Someone who still chooses hope after disappointment. Someone willing to forgive without becoming foolish, to love without losing wisdom, and to trust without ignoring discernment. Perhaps you wonder why your paths have not crossed yet. The answer may be simpler than you think. Growth cannot be rushed. Just as a tree cannot bear fruit before its roots become strong enough to support it, lasting love cannot flourish before two hearts have developed the maturity required to protect it. Your soulmate has also faced hidden battles. They have known loneliness. They have questioned whether anyone could truly understand them. They have experienced moments when they almost gave up believing that someone like you could exist. Yet deep within them remains a quiet hope that refuses to disappear. That same hope lives within you. Even when you tried convincing yourself that love no longer mattered. Even when disappointment whispered that your story had reached its ending. Even when fear urged you to stop believing. Your heart continued waiting. Not because it is weak. Because it remembers something your mind often forgets. Real love is worth preparing for. Today's message is not asking you to chase someone desperately. It is inviting you to prepare yourself faithfully. Release resentment that no longer serves your future. Forgive people who never apologized, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because your peace deserves freedom. Stop comparing your journey to everyone else's timeline. Some people meet quickly only to separate just as quickly. Others wait patiently before discovering a relationship that becomes one of life's greatest blessings. Time alone never determines value. Purpose does. Your soulmate does not need another version of who the world expects you to become. They need the authentic person hidden beneath every fear and every insecurity. They need the person who still chooses compassion. The person who quietly helps others without expecting recognition. The person who still believes that gentle words can heal broken spirits. That is the person destiny has been refining. As you continue walking forward, remember that hope is not blind optimism. Hope is the courage to believe that what has not yet appeared may still be approaching. You may not recognize every step of your journey today. But one day, you will look back and realize that even the delays were guiding you towards something meaningful. For now, continue becoming the person you were created to be. Continue growing. Continue learning. Continue choosing kindness when bitterness seems easier. Because somewhere, another heart is learning the very same lessons. And when the time is right, two prepared souls often recognize one another with a peace that words can barely describe. This is only the beginning of the message. Do not mistake silence for absence. Some of the greatest changes in life begin so quietly that they are almost impossible to notice. A seed does not announce the moment it begins to grow beneath the soil. A sunrise does not ask permission before the darkness slowly gives way to light. In the same way, the path leading you toward lasting love often unfolds without dramatic signs. It begins with subtle shifts inside your own heart. There was a time when you searched for someone to fill every empty space within you. You believed that if the right person appeared, every fear would disappear overnight. But with each passing season, you have begun to understand something deeper. No one can complete a heart that refuses to know itself. Love is not about finding another half. It is about two whole people choosing to walk side by side with honesty, grace, and commitment. This realization is one of the first signs that your spirit is growing. Perhaps you have noticed that you no longer chase every opportunity for attention. Compliments that once felt essential now seem less important. You have started valuing peace over constant excitement. Conversations that once entertained you now leave you longing for something more genuine. This is not because you have become distant from others. It is because your heart has become more discerning. True connection cannot be built upon appearances alone. It grows through trust. It deepens through patience. It survives because of honesty. Your soulmate is not searching for someone who never struggles. They are searching for someone who remains faithful to kindness even when life becomes difficult. Every challenge you have endured has quietly shaped qualities that cannot be purchased or imitated. Compassion born from suffering carries a depth that comfort alone can never create. There may have been moments when you wondered why certain relationships ended unexpectedly. At the time, they felt like painful losses. Yet if you look back with fresh eyes, you may begin to see that many of those endings protected you from paths that would have taken you far from the future you truly desired. Not every goodbye is meant to break you. Some goodbyes quietly guide you toward a better beginning. There is wisdom in letting go of what no longer brings life to your spirit. Holding tightly to old disappointments only makes it harder to receive new blessings. Imagine trying to catch a beautiful gift while your hands are already filled with heavy stones. Before something new can be received, something old often needs to be released. This is why healing matters. Healing is not forgetting the past. Healing is remembering it without allowing it to control your future. Take a moment to consider how much you have already overcome. The fears that once kept you awake through long nights no longer hold the same power they once did. The heartbreak that seemed impossible to survive slowly became a source of wisdom. The uncertainty that once frightened you has taught you resilience. These quiet victories may not be celebrated by the world, but they are deeply significant. Growth often happens where no one else is watching. As your heart matures, you begin noticing beauty in simple moments. A peaceful morning. A sincere conversation. An unexpected act of kindness. These ordinary moments become reminders that hope still exists in a world that often feels hurried and distracted. Your soulmate is likely learning similar lessons. Perhaps they are also discovering that lasting love cannot be forced. Perhaps they are realizing that genuine commitment requires courage, humility, and patience. Though your lives remain separate for now, both journeys are preparing for a meeting that will happen only when the time is right. Do not become discouraged by comparison. Some people appear happy while carrying hidden loneliness. Others seem delayed while quietly building a foundation that will last for years. The pace of another person's journey has never determined the value of your own. Continue becoming someone who brings peace wherever you go. Choose words that encourage instead of discourage. Offer forgiveness when your heart is able. Protect your integrity even when no one else notices. These choices shape the character that lasting relationships are built upon. Love that endures is not sustained by emotion alone. Feelings rise and fall like waves upon the ocean. Commitment, however, chooses to remain even when emotions fluctuate. That is why wisdom is just as important as affection. If you desire a relationship filled with trust, become trustworthy. If you long for honesty, practice honesty. If you hope for compassion, extend compassion freely. The qualities you seek in another person are often the very qualities your own heart is invited to develop. Do not fear the waiting. Waiting is not empty when it is filled with purpose. Each day offers another opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the future that lies ahead. There will come a day when many of the questions that trouble you now will no longer carry the same weight. You will see how each chapter, even the difficult ones, contributed to a story far richer than you could have imagined. Until then, walk forward with quiet confidence. Choose hope instead of fear. Choose patience instead of panic. Choose faithfulness in the small things, for they often prepare you for the greatest blessings. The message is not asking you to predict the future. It is inviting you to become the kind of person who is ready to embrace it with an open heart. Keep moving forward. The journey is not over. There are moments in life when the greatest obstacle standing before you is not another person, not your circumstances, and not even time itself. Sometimes, the greatest obstacle is the weight your heart has been carrying for far too long. You were never meant to live with a spirit burdened by every disappointment that crossed your path. Every painful memory has tried to teach you something. Some lessons came gently, while others arrived through tears you never expected to shed. Yet even the hardest seasons carried a quiet invitation, not to remain in sorrow, but to grow beyond it. There may have been people who made promises they never intended to keep. Their words sounded sincere, but their actions slowly revealed a different story. You questioned yourself, wondering whether you had missed warning signs or trusted too easily. Do not allow those moments to convince you that every future relationship will end the same way. One broken bridge does not mean every road ahead has collapsed. Every sunrise reminds the world that darkness never has the final word. The same is true for your heart. Your future does not have to repeat your past. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is the courage to release bitterness. Bitterness often disguises itself as protection, whispering that if you never trust again, you can never be hurt again. But walls built to keep pain out often keep love out as well. Protection is wise. Isolation is not. There is a difference between healthy boundaries and fear. Healthy boundaries protect your peace while allowing genuine relationships to grow. Fear builds walls so high that even kindness cannot reach your heart. Ask yourself quietly today. What have I been holding that no longer belongs in my future? Perhaps it is regret. Perhaps it is guilt. Perhaps it is anger towards someone who has already moved on while you continue carrying the weight. You deserve freedom. Not because the past never mattered, but because your future matters too much to remain chained to yesterday. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack through every season of life. At first, you barely notice its weight. Over time, every step becomes harder. Every climb feels impossible. Yet the burden is not coming from the road ahead. It comes from what you continue carrying behind you. Your heart works the same way. Every time you forgive, you remove another unnecessary weight. Every time you choose peace over resentment, your spirit becomes lighter. Every time you release fear, you create room for hope. Perhaps your soulmate is also learning these same lessons. They may be discovering that lasting love requires honesty before romance. They may be letting go of disappointments they once believed would define their future forever. Though you have never met, or perhaps your paths have crossed without recognition, both of you are growing in ways that will one day matter more than either of you realizes today. There comes a season in every meaningful journey when nothing appears to be changing, yet everything is slowly shifting beneath the surface. The days may seem ordinary. You wake up, follow your routine, carry your responsibilities, and wonder whether life has forgotten the deepest desires of your heart. But ordinary days often hide extraordinary beginnings. You cannot always recognize the moment your future starts drawing closer. Sometimes it begins with a decision you almost didn't make. A new opportunity. A conversation you nearly ignored. A lesson that changes the way you see yourself. Life rarely announces its turning points with great fanfare. Instead, they arrive quietly, almost unnoticed, until one day you look back and realize everything began to change from that single moment. Do not underestimate the quiet seasons. The strongest foundations are built where no one is watching. Perhaps you have spent too much time believing that your story is falling behind everyone else's. You have watched others celebrate milestones while your own hopes seem delayed. Comparison has whispered that you are too late, that somehow your chance for lasting love has already passed. But comparison cannot see the whole picture. It only sees the surface. Every person's journey follows a different rhythm. Some experiences come early. Others arrive after years of preparation. Neither path is greater than the other. What matters is not how quickly something arrives, but how deeply it transforms your life when it does. Imagine two travelers beginning from opposite sides of a mountain. Neither can see the other. Both believe they are walking alone. Yet with every faithful step, the distance between them becomes smaller. They do not need to know every twist in the path. They simply need to keep moving forward. Life often works in the same way. While you are learning patience, someone else may be learning forgiveness. While you are discovering confidence, another heart may be finding humility. While you are becoming more authentic, another person may be releasing old fears. Growth happens separately before lives are ready to grow together. Do not allow impatience to convince you to settle for connections that require you to ignore your values. Temporary comfort can never replace genuine peace. The right relationship will not be built upon pretending. It will be built upon honesty. It will welcome your strengths without worshiping them and accept your weaknesses without using them against you. That kind of connection is worth waiting for. There may be moments when loneliness returns unexpectedly. It can appear even on bright days, reminding you of dreams that have not yet become reality. When that happens, do not condemn yourself for feeling deeply. A hopeful heart is not a weak heart. Longing simply reminds you that you were created for meaningful relationships. Yet do not let longing become desperation. Desperation clouds judgment. Peace brings clarity. When your spirit rests in peace, you become better able to recognize what is healthy and gently walk away from what is not. There is wisdom in trusting the process of growth. Think about how much you have changed over the past few years. Your priorities have shifted. Your understanding has deepened. Things that once seemed important have quietly lost their influence. At the same time, qualities like integrity, compassion, patience, and sincerity have become more valuable than ever before. This is not coincidence. This is maturity. And maturity prepares the heart for relationships that endure. Perhaps you have asked, how will I know when the right person enters my life? The answer is often simpler than expected. You may notice that peace becomes stronger than confusion. Conversations feel natural rather than forced. Respect grows alongside affection. Trust develops gradually instead of being demanded immediately. Neither person feels pressured to wear a mask. Both are free to be genuine. Healthy love does not rush to impress. It chooses to understand. It listens before speaking. It encourages rather than controls. It celebrates growth instead of demanding perfection. These are quiet signs, but they are powerful. As you continue walking through this season, remember that your purpose is greater than finding someone. Your purpose is becoming someone whose life reflects kindness, wisdom, and hope. Relationships are blessings, but they should never replace your identity. Your value has never depended on whether another person recognizes it. Your worth has always existed. The right person will appreciate that worth, not create it. So continue investing in your character. Continue strengthening your faith. Continue choosing honesty when dishonesty appears easier. Continue offering kindness in a world that often forgets how much gentle words can heal. Every choice shapes the future version of yourself. And one day, when you look back, you may realize that what felt like waiting was actually preparation. The chapters that seemed slow were quietly building the strongest foundation of all. Do not fear the pace of your journey. Do not measure your future by someone else's timeline. Your story is unfolding one faithful step at a time. Hold on to hope. Keep your heart open. Continue walking with courage. The path ahead may still hold surprises you cannot yet imagine, but every lesson you embrace today is preparing you for tomorrow's opportunities. This message is not about predicting exactly when love will arrive. It is about reminding you that becoming the right person is just as important as meeting the right person. Keep growing. Keep believing. Keep moving forward with a heart that refuses to surrender its capacity for compassion. For the greatest stories are often written one quiet day at a time, long before anyone realizes the ending is already beginning to take shape.